Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargava. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. With the spotlight and a question mark on the CBI itself for its inexplicable delay in investigating the NSE co-location and algo trading case, the investigation by CBI is finally proceeding at a fast pace. The agency is now on an interrogation and arrest spree finally. We wonder why it did not do so earlier, thus giving enough time to the accused to tamper the evidence and the witnesses and thus weaken the prosecution's case. All this was very evident in the recent order of the Delhi High Court judge dismissing Chitra Ramkrishna's plea for anticipatory bail. While seeking anticipatory bail, her lawyer had argued that neither was she named in the FIR registered by the CBI in May 2018 in this case, and nor was any role attributed to her in that FIR. It was further pointed out by the lawyer that she was also not called for questioning in the case even once during the past 4 years, and that her private conversations had no bearing on her functioning and the case itself. Her lawyer said that she belongs to a reputed family, that she is a chartered accountant by profession, and that she is a leader in the financial sector and in the stock market fora. She was the sole woman to have headed the NSE and had become a global leader, winning many awards, it was averred. It was further mentioned that she is taking appropriate legal recourse against the SEBI order in her case. On the matter of the exorbitant remuneration paid to Anand Subramanian by the NSE, she claimed that it was a matter of corporate governance and that had nothing to do with the co-location scam which is now being probed so vigorously by the CBI. That was a plea put on her behalf at the Delhi High Court while seeking anticipatory bail. Let's see what did the CBI say in response to these contentions put on behalf of Chitra Ramakrishna. While vehemently opposing her bail plea, the CBI pointed out to the judge that, first, Chitra had been questioned by CBI on February 18th, 19th and the 22nd, and that while searching her residence on February 24th, the CBI had seized various articles, including a mobile phone and the laptop. It then said that she was examined for 3 days, but she did not give proper response, and thus the services of a senior forensic psychologist at the Central Forensic Lab were utilized in order to extract the actual facts from her. It then said that she was very influential in dealing with the NSE affairs and that she has remained evasive on major issues related to the crime. It was further stated that the magnitude of the present case may be huge, as due to this financial skullduggery, huge losses have been caused to the adherent stockbrokers, to the FIIs and the honest investors, whose faith in the NSE may have been severely shaken and dented because of this case, because of this scam. CBI linked the appointment of Subramaniam at the NSE with a co-location scam and said that he was appointed at an exorbitant salary without following the due process, which prima facie says it said that all of them have been acting in tandem with each other in carrying out or in furtherance of the co-location scam. It said that she thus needs to be examined on all aspects that have been found out, including the facts revealed by the forensic audit of the co-locations case, which has been conducted by various agencies. These were the contentions of the CBI opposing the anticipatory bail plea of Chitra Ramkrishna at the Delhi High Court. What did the court say? While the court firmly rejected her bail plea, accepting the CBI contentions, it wrapped the CBI itself for its casual investigation so far. The judge said that the CBI has been the most lackadaisical to say the least, as no action seems to have been taken against the main beneficiaries of the co-location scam so far and the others for almost 4 years, who seem to have merrily been enjoying at the expense of the common citizenry for reasons best known to them. The judge said that this is despite the fact that some of these beneficiaries are named in the CBI FIR of 2018 itself. The judge also critically observed that despite being the market watchdog, SEBI has been too kind and gentle towards the accused persons in the present FIR. The High Court rightly further observed that this kind of a collocation swindle could not have been possible without the knowledge and active connivance of all the functional heads of the NSE at that relevant time, which we think is a very, very correct remark. This period, the High Court said, can be considered as a dark period in the history of the NSE. While rejecting a bail plea, the judge said that she introduced a non-existing person to mislead the investigation agency, which may also prima facie show her connivance in the matter. And the court was referring to that so-called yogi with whom she shared all the confidential data and information of the NSE. The judge said that the allegations against Chitra Ramkrishna are grave and serious, and that no ground for anticipatory bail has been made out at this stage. Her custodial interrogation, he said, is thus required to dig out the truth. The fact is that the CBI has been half-heartedly investigating the allegations of scammy dissemination of information from the NSE servers to the select and privileged stockbrokers, who of course have usually benefited from it, they have usually profited from it. NSE also shared sensitive data with one Ajay Shah and another, which helped them to build their own algorithms and profitably trade on the NSE. The CBI did register a FIR in 2018 to investigate this co-location and algo trading case, but it has strangely made no headway in the shocking scam so far, which has very clearly benefited a select few, a privileged few who are part of the scam to the tune of hundreds of crores of rupees. The latest in this case is that Chitra Ramakrishna, the former NSE chief, has been arrested by the CBI and the court has granted a 7-day custody to CBI. The CBI will now be questioning Chitra Ramkrishna and Anand Subramanian. Both of them are now in its custody and a joint interrogation is going to take place. There are a huge number of questions which need to be answered by this dubious duo, and it is up to the CBI to pull out the answers from them. To us, they constitute the crux of this entire scam. What are those questions? The first one: did the so-called yogi with whom Chitra shared sensitive NSE information ever exist? Did she know him? Or was it just a ploy or a tactic or an afterthought of Chitra and Subramaniam to mislead and thwart any investigation in the case? That's the first question. The second: why was the most incompetent, inexperienced and inappropriate Anand Subramaniam appointed, promoted and remunerated by her, blatantly violating all rules and regulation of NSE? The third question: why did she share the most sensitive data and information about the NSE, and was it done for a price? What was the consideration for such outlandish and criminal violation of corporate governance and contractual confidentiality by Chitra Ramakrishna? The next question: was she aware and involved in the co-location and algo trading scam, and did she benefit from it, whether directly or indirectly? What was the underlying quid pro quo for this kind of a scam to take place in the NSE? The next question: why did the NSE give her a kid glove treatment despite her gross and shocking and unbelievable misconduct and malpractice? Why was she allowed to go so easily and honorably, that too with a severance package of almost 50 crore rupees? Why was she not unceremoniously sacked and prosecuted by the NSE? Is our next question. Further, why did she appoint Anand Subramaniam, and what was the nexus between the two? What was the reason that Chitra, a brilliant chartered accountant, never did anything without the advice and approval of Anand Subramaniam, a most incompetent and inexperienced person for that post? Our next question is that when Chitra Ramakrishna resigned and left the NSE, why was her laptop not taken in the NSE's custody and preserved? And why was it destroyed by the NSE? That to us amounted to destruction of crucial evidence of a serious crime. The next question is, who was a godfather in the system who was protecting her despite her crimes? and who were her accomplices in the NSE and outside it too, which fostered this crime for so long. Further, is this a case of mere negligence or poor judgment or poor corporate governance and incompetence, or is it one of a blatant corruption, fraud and misappropriation is what we would like to know. The next is, why did NSE not investigate the case and punish her suitably, and why did SEBI also not do so, and why did they keep lingering on their actions? The next is, why did the CBI sit on this case for so long, and why did all agencies, whether it be the NSE, SEBI, CBI or even the Finance Ministry adopt a go-slow approach in this case? And finally, we'd like to know, why did the NSE board keep the matter under the wraps for so long, despite being aware of it all, as SEBI says in its own order? The larger picture to us is that while the Chitra Ramakrishna case may be a shocker, it does not surprise us at all. We have seen such atrocious malpractices and crimes being committed by the top CEOs and honchos of India's banking and financial system from time to time, whether it be by Chanda Kochar at ICICI, by Ravi Parthasarathy at ILFS, by Rana Kapoor at Yes Bank, etc. They all have a common story according to us. They all rose to the top because the system supported them, and their giant crimes were not possible without an accomplice at every level in the system, whether in the bureaucracy at the Finance Ministry or at the regulator at SEBI, RBI, etc., and also in their own board of directors and top executives of their corporates. And that is how they subverted the system and committed the crime for so long. And then, as always, when the crime got revealed, it is these individuals that took the bullet, and it is they who are being punished, thus ensuring that their accomplices and godfathers, who were the real criminals or who were at least equal criminals, are never named and their names are never revealed. This to us is a standard story, and that is the case of Chitra Ramakrishna also. We hope that the CBI succeeds in answering all these questions. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.